seen him since high school.
When?
I don't know. I'm passed on for the years.
Yeah.
The last time that they did this one, I was in
Right,
college and
you're
I was
pretty good
doing
considering the
summer working or
years.
something like that.
You too.
He wasn't
Thank
even here, but Joy had already succumbed. And
And where are you living these days?
probably I was going
Shaker.
to end up using it between our 2 years.
A house or an apartment?
No, in the front.
Yes, we just moved to Laurel Lake.
All these people that
It's
I
great.
didn't know, I had no idea who they were.
Don't take
They
my,
all remembered Little Billy. And
I hate having my
people would
picture.
introduce me and tell me how various people I was. Little Billy is dating and they were looking
and where are the
up
kids,
this
your
level.
kids?
I have 2 daughters that live here and one that lives in Dallas. They'll all 3 be here today.
Oh, they will. Peggy,
Peggy is my middle one.
it's the one that was friends with the dog. Judy's 49 and Debbie is 44.
Peggy is 45.
Yeah, Debbie's friend. They went to dancing school, et cetera,
Yeah.
et cetera. They were confirmed together. Yeah. Does she live in town?
Yeah. She lives in Orange.
That's great.
They were, but they aren't now.
And you're,
I'm Ralph Rosewater.
oh, I'm Ed File.
Ed,
File, Nellie File's son, and Harold File,
I knew your father years ago.
and you're,
Me, I'm Flossie Rosewater Mitchell, and I'm his daughter. Did you just get him on the camera?
And I'm her brother and his son.
This is Dr. Stan Rosewater.
Yeah,
If this is
I
hi.
decided, I thought we decided it was Eli.
Yeah, we did.
Why, is there a second one?
We're gonna get us all recorded here, huh? We'll be in serious trouble.
Oh, great. Who asked that?
you're all here.
You're not are you on again?
Yeah, he's on it.
My grandfather was a brother to Edward Rosewater, and I believe Edward Rosewater was about 10 years younger than my grandfather, who was Joseph Rosewater.
Bill's up there, sitting with his back to us. And that's Bill.
quite amazing.
So, anyhow, but I still had work. What was it? Well, I know. I just had. We had more trouble. You know, they owe.
Good?
Well, they used to do it for you at an extra charge. Now you do it yourself, but there were 3 machines, and they kept. The first one ran out of paper. Fine, we filled it with paper, and it did a few more, and then something happened. We moved on to the second machine. We had to keep going back and forth to the 3 machines, and I don't know why we weren't doing.
These are big sheets. These
Well,
are more than
there's,
14.
yeah, these are 11 by 17. But I always use this. I like this format.
And if I needed
And they'll roll. I mean, if you want them rolled up in a tube or something.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But I just always use. Somebody years ago gave me the paper, and I'm still. Unfortunately, he retired, so I'll have to buy my own paper now. And I'm down to. I must be down to 10 sheets now.
So this is a compilation of that whole thing that he did?
In some cases, for some reason or other, a couple of times the charts were done wrong, so it didn't look. It looked like it didn't show what it meant to say. That happened twice. So I would go to the narrative, and from the narrative it would say who the children were and so forth. And the narrative was a big help that way. And and I gave. Well, let me see what I can find. I must have some notebooks. I know where some
Do you have a
notebooks
loose
are.
leaf notebook or a
Yeah, wait.
spiral? But I couldn't find it.
Well,
Are you there now?
I don't know. I'm not in the Hudson. It's in Hudson now. I don't know. I haven't seen a New Cleveland book.
I don't think you're there.
I'm probably not there anymore. I probably have disappeared.
Because I thought maybe you would be there.
I tried to keep it that way all these years because otherwise
People lose you.
people would lose me.
All
I
right,
feel
well now I
like I'm
found you.
lost.
Do you remember Roy Younger?
Oh, sure.
He was here last night.
He
We had a
was.
party.
Oh, how
In fact, he's going to be here today and
How
tomorrow.
nice.
I'll give him a
I won't see him again.
You-
I'll
He's-
be talking to
He's
him.
visiting the Horowitzes, or?
No, he was coming in anyways, but Lois had brain surgery.
I'll start, then other people will start. Mary!
But even in a bigger scale than in my country, because there is a very small group of tremendously rich people, and the rest is poor. And yeah, well, before I came here, I was kind of reading people and trying to get some ideas to know what the states are about. And everyone told me, well, watch out with the crime, because the crime is 7 times higher, for example, than in Europe. That's what people scare me of.
They're well, unfortunately, just like when our daughter was in Australia, people said they'd like to see the United States, but they were afraid to come here because they got a distorted view from
Yeah.
the television programs. It's
I am going to start eating. How about somebody join me?
there are places that are very, very bad and that you
Yeah.
should stay away from. But there are also places where you are perfectly safe to go out and wander around.
But I was actually pointing to that. They said, well, states are dangerous, but it's not Russia at all. They said that Russia is something completely wild at the moment, especially Moscow and the big cities.
I'd say crime is divided into basically like two things here. There's a large organized crime that runs business
I
and
really don't care if they don't have anything else.
will be violent if it has to keep its power. But then there's basically the hoodlum or the punk who will run up to you on the street, you know, and they give me your money, that type. And that's like
That's
an
the ones that look like you.
individual. But as far as organized crime, you don't mess with them. They're not bothered. They're running basically a business, albeit
Yeah,
illegal.
kind of business. Yeah.
Yeah, although it's
Yeah.
illegal, but they're literally running a business.
But from what I heard, what's happening now in Russia, all kind of business has to be in a way connected with this business. Otherwise, it's not actually possible to operate it. For them, it's a part of daily life. I had a friend and his father has a building company there. And he would just say, well, before you start, you officially start, but then you have to get a company who protects you, and you pay them. And if the company is big enough, then they will protect you from the others. And I mean, he said, well, this is as you have to get the official license to start a business, you have to get it. This is a part of making a business in Russia at the moment.
I need your card keys.
Which is kind of novel. I mean, this was a new business coming up. He had a brother who lived in Toledo, which is another city. Smile for the But talk about a close-up. You count your whiskers.
I'm Ed Falk.
For some reason or other, it doesn't want to work.
Oh, he's staying with,
I can imagine why.
he was originally going to stay with the Bear. Bill Bear.
Doesn't not telling me why it doesn't work.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, the whole story is quite a good luck, or it's kind of a, well, I would say, series of coincidences which just lead to this end. Yeah.
How many times have you been in the United States?
Well, this is our first time. We arrived on the 4th of July, so well, this is our 4th day actually in the States. We know, I traveled a little bit around Europe, but it's my first time here. We stayed for a couple of days in New York, and we arrived to Cleveland yesterday night.
Yeah, because you stay at my daughter's house.
Yeah.
That's my daughter.
Also,
On the west side of the Lake
Is he your
Tahoe.
brother?
No, cousin.
He's a cousin.
Yeah.
Is he coming? I don't know.
I don't know why I'm doing
I
this.
don't know if he's in Cleveland right now. Because
Yeah.
he spends most of his time now in Lake Tahoe. And he's a dentist on the west side. He has a clinic over there, but he's basically out of that and living.
Yes.
He's a ski bum in Lake Tahoe now. Yeah. So he does come back to Cleveland periodically. Do you know if he's in town now?
No, I doubt if he's in town, or he would probably be here.
Yeah. The last time I saw him was when I went out to Lake Tahoe and skied with him a couple of years ago.
You're related, yes?
Yeah, this is my aunt.
She's your aunt. Well, I guess we're all related.
Yes, that's
We
true.
are all
That's true.
As a matter of fact, I gave somebody in our office a T-shirt that says in Lakota, we are all related. Well, she's part Indian. Just not Lakota, but she's part Indian. It's a manifest.
Well, the next reunion, I guess we should have a T-shirt. I think that's an idea.
Well, yeah, the next year.
And we'll let you design it.
There'll be
A T-shirt.
T-shirts, that's a good idea.
The gathering, and on the T-shirt will be, what? The name of the chief branch and the other branches.
We have to do something interesting.
Yeah, the whole thing that says the Motley Crew or something. Yeah.
A family gathering.
That's it.
Oh, no, there'll be, if we're gonna do a tree, I mean, we'll do a tree.
A real
And
tree.
you live on the west side?
No, I live in Clearwater, Florida.
Oh.
Okay.
He's lived there for years
Yeah.
and years.
Yeah, we've been
And
there.
you came here,
Well,
visit, or?
we came here for a wedding this weekend, and my wife is, at the same time we realized we had a friend whose child was getting married, we were coming for a wedding. She found an art course at the Art Institute that she wanted to take, so she came in a few days ago, and right now, she doesn't get off until later this afternoon. I'm going to run out and pick her up and bring her back here as soon as she's done with her art
So
course.
she's not here
Yeah,
right now.
so she's not here yet, yeah,
And you practice in Clearwater?
in Clearwater.
He's getting it right, and he's gonna continue.
West
to practice.
Coast, West Coast, it's Tampa, St. Petersburg,
Yeah.
Clearwater, are all together. So it's West Coast, yeah.
Well, how is the boat?
On Wenceslas Square.
I deserve a lot of time.
Yeah, Deborah ate a lot of desserts. Because I had a little more flexibility than she did. But,
There's still some things I don't know about.
of course, the one thing about it was that we just come out of Italy.
You left a grandchild off the thing.
Pardon my saying it.
He would be very hurt.
Oh, who was that?
Matthew Baumel,
I don't think I knew about him. I knew
he's
about.
23 years old.
Yeah, he speaks a little bit, he
Mark
understands.
speaks a little
How do you do? I'm Mary Hollerstein
Nice to meet you.
from long ago from Bohemia. Was that it? Long ago.
Where from?
No, I live in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm joking.
Okay.
The family came originally from Bohemia. A little town, what was it? Bukovan.
Bukovan, yeah.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there. It's still
It
English.
is?
What is the town?
Bukovan.
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 Bukovan, yeah.
Well, maybe one of these days we'll come visit
Yeah, you
you.
come back and see where
And where are you from?
See where you
Where we come from Prague,
Prague.
but actually our roots are from the southern Bohemia. It's about, I don't know, 50 kilometers from Bukovan in a small village called Lani, where we have our, well, now summer house, but my father's family comes from there. And they've been living there for the last 300 years. But my father moved to Prague and got married in Prague, so this generation we live in Prague.
They lived there for how many years?
300 years?
100 years?
300 years.
300 years.
In the
So
same house on the
when-
same piece of land.
When Hitler moved in, what happened to them?
Well, the thing is, this part of my family, my father's mother's side, they are not of the Jewish origin. So they were actually originally Czech. But
Father's
mother's side. But my father's side is the Mince's Jewish side. So that's how we got related. And well, what happened there during the war was that my grandmother, who was Czech, had a relationship with a Mince, who was of a Jewish origin, but it was very dangerous for them to get married or to have an official marriage, since he was Jewish and the Germans were in the country. So there was an agreement between the families that the children wouldn't get married and that they would keep the child. But there wasn't an official marriage. So my father was born in November 1942. But actually, all the Minces, all the Jewish part of the family, was sent to the concentration camp in May 1942. So actually, that way happened that my father never got to know his father, and we never got to know our grandfather. And actually, when I was 16, that's 5 years ago, I kind of, in a very peculiar way, discovered some papers from which I find out about this connection which I had. I kind of started following the whole story through. So
What did you find?
well, I knew somehow from the family and from the thing what my father told me that I was related to a Jewish origin. But the thing was that my grandmother brought up my father on her own. and she was a single mother. That wasn't normal in that days, especially not in the village. And half of the village, or almost everyone, knew that she had a child with a Jew. So she lived all her life in a fear that someone is going to tell the Germans that she has a child with Jew. That would put her in danger, her child in danger, and obviously the whole family. And then actually what happened after the war, all the Minces actually, well, they didn't return from the camp.
Which camp were they in?
They went to Terezin at the beginning, and then I think after a couple of months they were sent to Auschwitz. And none of them returned. I think only a cousin or an uncle of our grandfather returned from the camp and actually offered to my grandmother that he would take care of her and the son and take them to the United States because they said that their existence in Bohemia was finished.
What was his name?
His name was, I think his name was Otto Mintz. And
Olga?
Otto.
Otto.
Otto Mintz. And I think he was having a law agency in Prague. He was an advocate.
How did he survive?
Well, I don't know how.
Survived the camp?
Yeah, he survived the camp, and he actually said that all his cousins and nephews, Minces, died in his hands in the camp, but that he was the only one who actually survived. But I don't have this written. This comes only from a vocal form that my grand aunt told me because she was in the house the time when he came after the war and was talking about it. And
your great aunt?
My great aunt's name is Hedvika, and she was
Edrika?
Hedvika.
Hedrika. What's her last name?
Beg your pardon? Her last name is Hanushova. Hanushova. Hanushova.
How do you spell it?
Hanus, this kind of a roof with an accent, OVA. Hanushova. And her maiden name was Yanda.
Oh, that's...
So she was my grandmother's sister, younger sister.
Okay then.
So yeah, it's very complicated.
Very complicated. Okay, so she
so
was
actually,
the contact person for you?
well, she wasn't in contact with them, but she remembered that when she was a little girl, this kind of, for them it was a big man from the city because they lived all their life in the village. Came with a car to their house and kind of was talking to her parents. And my father, who was at that time I think 5 years old, he can remember that he got from this uncle means that he got a small trailer with a wooden cubes, and it was the only toy which he actually had throughout his childhood. And he knew that he got it from some uncle who later
and
on
this
left.
was Otto.
And no, this was supposedly Otto Mintz.
Otto Mintz.
Otto Mintz, who later on went to the States. But I'm not sure. I know that he was Mintz's and that he was an advocate, and he came with his secretary to the house. But to be honest, I'm not 100% sure about his first name.
Who is his sister? Well, is he here in the United States?
Well, he went to the United States, but the thing was that I only know from this verbal form that he went to the States, and I don't really know how to find the connection. So I was trying to find different people and trying to get to it through various sites. So one of the things I tried was to follow the Rosewater branch because in the papers I found there was mentioned Edward Rosewater, who kind of seemed to be a little bit famous or known in the States, and it seemed to me easier to follow this route and try to find a relative of his.
Wow, now how did you find us from him? I mean, since that's 125 years ago or something.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. Throughout my travels, I went to Spain last autumn, and by accident I was living in a Jewish family. And
this is in Spain?
This was in Spain.
What city in Spain?
In Spain it was in Cádiz, in the south of Spain. And I was living with a lady whose mother's name is Abrahams, and who lives in Belgium. She lives in Belgium. And she was going to the States to visit some Jewish friends, and they were telling me that they had friends who work in Jewish museums and things like that. So I sent her a fax with the information I got, kind of explaining the story of my family and asking her if she can help me. And she called me back within 3 weeks, and she said, look, try to have this number and try to call this lady. Her name is Rosewater, and she should be related to her. I have no idea how she found this.
From Spain.
But that was the way it happened.
Does Joy know this story? Joy Brummel knows this.
Yeah, I think she knows the story roughly.
Oh, you did? It's a fantastic story.
Isn't it interesting? Well, I'm sure there's a way now to find out about your
Well,
uncle, whoever this
straightforward
Mr. Otto is.
From here is
Jerusalem.
the records.
Go to the archives of the.
Yeah.
I was thinking. But even the JCC, or not the
Or you go to Salt Lake. You can go even here. You know, we can go.
You haven't.
Not only
haven't
to
spoken any
Western
English.
Reserve,
I
but
speak
to
any
go out
English.
to Kirkland.
I have no idea.
We go to the
In my
Mormon
family, you can understand.
Tabernacle out there, and they will help you through
No,
the
not to speak
Oh,
English.
to talk about-
archives in
To talk about it. It was a
Salt
topic
Lake
for
City,
one
which are,
generation.
you know, the most
Actually, for two generations.
far-reaching
My
in the
father and my
country, I
grandmother.
guess. Even more so than the Holocaust Museum.
It's not
The
so
Holocaust
peculiar
Museum has archives.
that subject
In
is very
Washington?
difficult.
Yeah.
Even
You'll
without,
have to go there.
no, even
All
even
tied
families
in
that are over
there.
here.
Them all by
Maybe
computer.
somebody could do it
not
by
surprising.
internet
So-
computer and
Computers,
try
you
to
can.
Now I'm
do it
speaking,
for
yeah,
him.
this was kind of first
we
try,
don't-
or one of the tries. It was kind of worked out.
We'll ask- I'm sure Joy knows somebody.
And then,
sure
in the
they would
meantime, I
know
went to
more
England and I
than we
learned
would,
English in the school, and then through Saudi school I went to Spain. And in Spain I met this lady, and then through her mother I found this out.
Well, now, how are you going? Where are you going in the United States? Do you have a plan?
Yeah.
Tour.
At the moment we have a plan to this our first visit, so we wanted to see the most of it or get some kind of feel for the country. So we get arrived to New York on the 4th, and then we came here. From here we are moving to Montana because I have some friends over there. Montana.
Oh, Montana.
Montana, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, my pronunciation.
That's all right.
It's quite clear enough.
That's okay.
And then we are going to go down to California because I have some friends around LA, and then up to San Francisco, and we should be leaving from San Francisco on the 7th of August, coming back to Prague.
It will be a good one trip.
We got a Greyhound bus ticket, so we are going to go by bus.
You're going by bus?
Actually, we came here by bus from New York.
They get these
We are
marvelous
going to
bus
go by bus
tours. You
from
can get them in Europe, you
Chicago.
can't get them
In Chicago, we have a friend of mine in Prague and another friend who came here in '68. So I met him in Prague and he invited us over. So we will stay a couple of days with him. And from
Where
there
in
we should-
Montana?
From there we should move to Montana. We go to Billings, but this lady lives in Shepherd. I don't know exactly where the place is. I have the address written down, but she will be coming to Billings to pick us up in the bus station.
It's going to be the biggest land in the flattest country you ever saw. in
I gotta get
Montana.
your picture.
It is so big and so flat that it's amazing. Miles and miles and miles and nothing but flat wheat fields.
It seems pretty flat to me here.
No,
You haven't seen flat until you've seen the American Midwest, and I haven't seen much.
well, until you see Montana.
Excuse me, I'm gonna get the book.
You'll get flat stories.
Really?
Miles and miles. You can understand when you drive through, it's fascinating. We drove all the way across when we got married in '88. And you see three houses. You see the sod house in back where they started. Then you see the first farmhouse they built. Then you see the newest house. And there's three houses in the middle. And you can still see sod houses out there. You can say, oh, you wonder how those women ever existed out there. Hundreds of miles in between.
They do say it was tough.
It was very tough.
Then they
Came out. We got them out. From the rabbi.
Now, who was the Grand Rabbi of Prague?
My mother's cousin, Simon Friedman.
So when you were in Prague, you visited the Jewish quarter.
He was, remember Max Friedman? His brother. His older brother.
Yeah, the old quarter downtown.
Because all the tourists who come to Prague usually go there. But for us, all my life, and we never learned anything at the school about Jews or anything like that. And actually, nowadays it's becoming more open, and there are books which are published where you can read all Jewish stories and things like that, which kind of started making sense. But before, we were living with something what was actually there, but we had no connection with it.
Yes, I can understand.
That will happen
Finest.
when I was in France last January.
Over in Severance.
you are trying to ask for a way or something. They usually
Now, let
spoke
me
in
take
English, but then
these
they ignore us, so we translated into French and then we...
You know what my father always said when there was food left over? Well, if you'd served it to people and you passed it around again, it wouldn't be left over. What, chocolate or oh, come on. Well, then take some more fruit or some fruit. It's not here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The greatest nephew.
Peggy,
No thanks.
the chocolate or yellow, there may even be white around if you're.
Oh, I'll try chocolate.
All right.
And
There's
you're-
white also.
And how is your relation to the Rosewater family?
I'm Clifford Stark, and I'm married to Peggy Kyman Stark, whose mother was a Rosenwasser. Hello. And this is Peggy.
Hi. And this is Lindsay, our one daughter. And no, one of our daughters. Oh, right, one of our daughters. Our other daughter's not here.
I said, you've been holding up very well throughout this for 15. I'm really impressed. You're allowed to sit. I didn't mean holding up physically. I kind of meant emotionally. You know.
She's a good 15-year-old.
You just, said, listen, you're coming or else.
No.
And you are
Hi, I'm Peggy's sister. I'm Leslie Baumel. My mother was, well, my maiden name was Kyman. My mother was a Rosenwasser. Marcus Rosenwasser was your grandfather. Okay.
And I'm her sister, so that's it for me. You have 2 kids.
Oh yeah, well, we each have 2 kids.
Remember, my father used to give me when there was food left over. Well, if you
Matthew,
passed it around,
age 23, and Megan, age 60.
And I'm Carol Hoffman, and I have Brian, who's 14. Clifford's making faces. And Lisa, who's 11. What? You can put it right here.
I'm very good.
Did you take a picture?
I think somebody did. I think so. I think if I didn't, I think what you call it did. Yeah, Mary did. I think. And I think that Ed did too. Pictures of the cake.
oh yes.
You can put that down though and have some cake. Have you had any food besides?
Oh yes, I've been eating. All right, I'll have-
Do you like chocolate or what? Both.
What was the original name? Rosewater?
And then I don't know when they changed it to Rosewater.
We never did. Yeah, we never did change our part never did.
Oh.
We stuck it out as Rosenwasser. When I got named, I got the middle initial R.
You have their
And
pictures?
Which is what you find out after it's all over. They were all seated around Elise. She and Laurel, if this is their row in the airplane, the row in front of them, the row behind them, except for one person, the row across from them, and the man next to them, never all did not get off that plane. Wow. That's amazing. Tell me about it. Oh, you know.
If anything makes you believe in, be a fatalist,
It's absolutely. In fact, that's one of the reasons I think she decided to go back to school. I think she said she's getting a doctorate in operations management, which is using statistics to do business problem solving. And I think one of the things that sent her back to school is physical therapy. Oh yeah. So just started. I'm just going to.
I was trying to figure out when I saw you last. I think it was on television.
Oh, it has been a long.
I'm not kidding. I think it was one. Whose show were you on?
No.
I don't know, I think Merle Powell's show, I still think the man is a total.
Oh, is the asshole he is.
Who's?
Merle Powell.
I don't know him. Is that a local show?
Yeah.
Oh, he's an obnoxious.
Yeah.
He's an opinionated, self-centered.
Well, all of those guys are. Every one of those talk shows. That's the. But
Oh, you did?
Are you the film noir? Wait, is this film noir or this verite? Is this film verite?
Oh yeah.
And what are you doing when you get it all made?
Blackmailing you, so say something really bad. We knew you were on the way, so then we left you a little bit
Riding
dangerous.
around, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I thought, I'll just get there eventually.
Two are his, one cake. And did you write us to the family?
I figured it's like a
I hear Aaron, that's my granddaughter.
Ooh, when did you get a granddaughter?
A year ago this month.
Oh,
She'll be a
where
year
are
old
next week? And where are they?
Come on out, I'll show you. And this is the Coleman. This is the Coleman store. Put that down and come over here and listen.
Well, I am.
No, put it down. I'll show you your grandmother. And here's where your great-grandmother grew up. Just have one.
Want another piece of cake? Nobody will know.
This is the, will it show? This is Second and Prospect, the Coleman Dry Goods Store. And it now is,
Our Goldfish Army Navy store. And this picture was taken in the 1860s. Because they're standing out in front. If you look, your great-grandmother's standing in the doorway.
oh, you think that's
That's who it is. It's Ella Coleman, and I think it's Aunt Belle standing in the doorway.
Wait a
in the
minute.
picture.
All right, can I move it?
Yeah.
All right, what did you say now? It's
Look,
now
here.
the, wait a minute, now the,
Goldfish Army Navy store. Where are the other pictures I have?
oh, I just put everything up there.
Oh, okay. I'll see.
Army, Navy, store.
I have
You'll
another
have to
here.
go
It
through
is.
it all with Ed.
And that's Aunt Belle and Grandma Coleman standing in the doorway.
So tell me, so Judy's back.
And grandmother,
Grandma Coleman, she was called. That's
Granny?
Ella, Grandma.
grand,
This is Samuel Coleman.
grandma,
Yeah, Ella Strauss Coleman. That's who's standing in the doorway.
Strauss, spelled S-T-R,
A-U-S-S,
oh,
Coleman.
Coleman.
And that's who's standing in the doorway.
In the
And they lived back in the back, and the store was in front. And this is 2nd Street, and this is Prospect Avenue. And if you want to know, the building was bought from Samuel Williamson in 1842.
Wait a minute, this was about, taken in about 1860?
1860. It was taken during the time of the Civil War.
Uh-huh. Now, this building
Was bought.
was bought,
I've got the papers in the book here. From Samuel Williamson, I think 1842.
from Samuel
Williamson. Who
Williamson.
Yeah, he was in 1842.
In 18 what?
About 1842.
For the store.
Yeah, they bought the building.
For the store. And it was sold. When was it sold? Recently. You said
In
your
the
father.
18. It was supposed to be held for 100 years, so it had to be 1962. Somewhere around in there. Since they had to hold it, according to the original documents, it had to be held for 100 years in the family. They weren't allowed to sell it. I have all those documents.
Oh, fantastic. I've got to get copies of everything. And this was bought by the people who run the Goldfish?
Yeah, Alprin. Your name is Alprin.
Alprin?
Uh-huh.
I know some Alprins.
I do
Dr.
too.
Alprin.
Yeah, I do too. Leonard.
Yeah. Is that his family?
I don't know. I never asked him.
Oh, I think that's fantastic.
And here, Ed, is a telegram from your great-grandfather,
Edward Rosewater.
from Ed Rosewater, and it was written February 22nd, 1888, to my grandfather when my uncle Louis Schwarzenberg was born.
Danny, excuse me, but would you take a picture for my camera tonight?
She's gonna call when she's done the floor.
And what does it say on it?
It says, congratulations, plant a cherry tree for the boy, and I'll send him a hatchet.
Okay, let me see it again.
And I will send him the hatchet. And that would be your grandfather then.
And my great-grandfather.
Your great-grandfather.
But I mean, I'd be open to playing her. I would love to find
Now, you want to go through the pictures just so he sees them? This was...
chocolate.
Well,
You go after it.
this would be your great-great-grandmother. If Ed Rosewater is your great-great-grandfather, then Ella Strauss Coleman would have been your
Right, this one is
great-great-grandmother.
still there.
And that's the house in Germany that she was born in.
What city did you say?
Unsleben, Bavaria. That's where they came from.
Well, where does Bukovan come in? Bukovan, Bohemia. I thought that's where the Rosewaters came from.
That's Rosewater. This is called Strauss. This is Strauss.
I thought you wanted to go to the other room. I was like, wow, if you insist.
Okay.
Oh, here.
So what year do you think this was taken?
Isn't that the one you want?
Yeah,
That's the one you want.
This is Leah Coleman. Rosewater. Edward's wife.
And this is her parents. Samuel Loeb Coleman and Ella Strauss Coleman.
So this is
This is where they lived. This was their
this
store.
is where they came from, that home in Germany.
Where she came from.
She came from. Oops, that's not the one.
Any more?
Yeah.
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. All right, here, if you want more.
Yeah, take this one because this. Yeah. All right, this one. This is.
We did that.
Yeah.
These are the Colemans.
Okay.
This is your great-grandmother, and this is my grandmother. Those are the Coleman daughters.
I have years of nice part to get to balance it out. Yeah.
Did you sign the book? Did you sign the book?
These are, who are these again, please?
These are all the Coleman women. 5. The 6 Coleman daughters.
Is Aunt Belle one of them?
This is Aunt Belle. This is Molly, my grandmother. This is Leah, your great-grandmother.
Okay.
And this was Ruth Schwarzenberg, Newman.
Very interesting.
Graduate from normal school west of the Appalachians.
Ed, did you take a picture of this?
That she was the one who started the free milk program in the Cleveland schools, which became the model for the country. And also was instrumental in creating the community chest.
Kim, look at me, just a little bit. Ed?
I'm going to give you something genetic that costs you.
Okay?
Really?
Molly Coleman, who married Ethan Schwarzenberg.
Oh, wait, that is the one that was at the mall that we saw? Was this, there was a big display at Feature Place a few years ago at Marcus Madison was?
No.
Okay. This is my husband, Stanley Simon. Mary Hellerstein.
That's why he survived the bank.
What's the name?
Hellerstein, Mary.
On CNN.
I'm Mary. Did you sign the book? No. Okay.
And who are you? I'm Ed File. I'm Mary's sister. I'm brother. Mary's my sister.
Ed Files?
Yeah.
Hi.
You're.
Stanley Seidman.
Oh. And you're.
I'm married to Martha.
Oh.
Marge was the daughter of Mary.
Yeah, that's right.
Did I get it right?
Yep.
He's at the bar and then.
Well, I remember Harry did a lot of electrical work.
He calls his mother. And what are the girls?
And you're Harry's daughter.
Right. I am.
And I'm Ed File.
Hi, you used to know my father, Harry Rosewater.
Right, that's right.
That's right.
But it wasn't kind of.
and everybody was expected to come and work on the roads.
This was Edith and Alice.
Yeah, okay.
Isn't that
She stopped competitive, but the way they diagnosed it was brain injury.
And then,
Oh, leave that there for a second.
oh, all right.
You were, yeah, just, no, just put it down.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, just a second.
This is number 24 Prospect Street. Mr. L. Coleman, dry goods merchant.
Cleveland, Ohio. That's just how it came.
You were, read that again. You were
Sir, you are hereby notified to appear on the corner of Huron and Erie Street in front of Grace Church in the city of Cleveland at 7 a.m. August 15th, 1853, with a good and sufficient shovel to perform 2 days' labor on the public highway. Papa sold it in 1970 for $98,000. It's not a bad investment. Ed,
Yes.
stop it a minute.
Well,
Yeah, well, I'm just asking. I just would like verification for someone. Because every time I've seen you, you said, "Oh, she's gone," you know. But I'm saying,
she,
you're
she
a nice
had
guy.
She had a book, that came out.
Yeah.
Were you invited to the book?
Yes, I was out of town, or I had some.
Oh.
There was something I couldn't come. I would have loved to have come. So you sure she's still around?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just, I've turned into a little more skeptical person in my later
And
years.
Jean couldn't make this, or you don't really know either?
Oh, put it this way. Had Jean been here, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, really?
I took with Flossie. Yeah, it's too painful for me right now.
Oh.
Actually, we had gotten to a better place, and it just.
Here. And Richard Paddock, I didn't know he got married, and I know he died, but we don't have his. He didn't.
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember that was where the family had no use for him. Actually.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that I remember very clearly. That the family never thought much of him.
Do you do this for a living or just a hobby?
Well, this is just a hobby, this part.
What do you do?
Well, Florida right now.
Oh, what does he do?
Well, he's a retired physician.
Runs in the family?
Yeah, he was living in Martha's Vineyard at, then they moved to Florida, and that's where they are now.
Well,
So did my kids.
that was awfully nice having all of them here. It was really wonderful getting acquainted. And next year we're going to have it at a hotel somewhere. We're going to plan it 3 months in advance, so everybody's kids can come. It'll be a Dutch street thing, and we'll have either Saturday or Sunday. The main thing, I want Bob Rosewater to be able to come, because Bob and I have gotten very close. Bob has done great things for me.
Thank you,
Well, nice meeting you, and I hope I see you again soon. To get her,
It was your
see
grandfather
how what
that
I said agreed with her.
was President Lincoln's telegrapher.
That's right.
And they're absolutely wonderful, and I just feel a dying.
Well, he was about your grandfather was about 2 years older than my grandfather.
Yeah.
Next year, where are they staying? With Flossie. Next year, what we're going to do is,
And,
will they come back again?
How long have you been in Cleveland now?
They won't be back.
well, I've always lived in Cleveland.
Oh, you always have.
We never had a union, so this was a get-together. Yeah.
Because I had always lived in Cleveland too.
Next year,
And
it'll
I
be Dutch Street. And
wasn't aware of you and you weren't aware of me.
When Bob Rosewater can be there.
Well,
At one of the hotels.
did you know you must have known my mother, Nellie
And get
File,
either a Saturday or
Yes.
Sunday brunch.
and my father,
And then
but I don't think we ever really had family get-togethers.
No, we never did.
what we'll do is
My Uncle Eugene and Dr. Harold File were Nathan's Rosewater's
with the idea that we can
nephews.
hold the next one so that we can accommodate it.
File on his wife's side and Eugene Rosewater on his side.
Yeah.
Oh gee, I'll be updating charts again.
My Uncle Eugene was killed in an auto accident in 1928, coming back from vacation. It's funny how the family didn't stick together.
Yeah, it is too bad.
It is too bad.
And what kind of work did you do when you were working?
I was a retired physician in general practice, family practice. And I worked on the west side of Cleveland. I was on the staff of Lutheran Hospital. And I retired 13 years ago. Just when the practice of medicine started to change drastically.
Yeah.
Well, we go to Larry Doctor, that's every Saturday.
And you, what did you do again?
I'm in the documentary film, video and film business.
You're retired too, I am.
Well, not really.
You're still working?
Oh yeah.
When I got home, somebody had cleared it out, somebody had given them away. And I don't know. I was up at 6:30 this morning, sort of inadvertently.
Harry Rosewater,
Yeah.
son of Joseph Rosewater.
Yeah.
Good. Grandson of Herman Rosewater.
Grandson of Herman Rosewater.
And 87 years old. Who is it? Me. Oh.
You're 88.
I am not.
Oh, you won't be until...
In
That's
November.
right, yeah. That's right.
Don't make me any older than I am.
No,
Mine
no,
were
you're
beautiful
older.
earrings. Are those opals? No, rose quartz. I never buy expensive earrings. I don't buy good stuff. I mean, I didn't now. I had mine pierced this winter because I wanted to buy. I did buy some opals, but with my arm the way it is, I figured I couldn't get the darn things in anyhow. And Janet had enough to do. She would have died if I said, "Come on, get my earrings in." So I'll wait and where I just put on an old pair of clip, and I'll wait and get them again soon. Yeah, I always bought just cheapies. And when I decide, well, I have this opal.
I just have the best. That's right.
I didn't know about the chicken soup.
They poison chicken soup.
Your mother may have said in that book.
My father used to say that the most famous Brummel was when there's a horse.
It was in Europe.
And we thought that was very, I mean, now we have horses,
It's in the book that your grandma had.
But we have poisonous chicken. I don't think chicken soup is healthy for you.
But I'm just saying, I always thought that was wonderful. Murder. That's an interesting family tree. That's right.
That's boring. Aren't there other ways of getting rid of rabbis? I mean, there must be,
Oh, but it wasn't his congregation, what I heard. They
Wait, it wasn't his guy?
Oh, I heard they thought he was too liberal, and that's why they got
No,
rid of
that's
him.
not the way I heard
They
the story.
enlisted another
It was
congregation?
yeah, he made a reform. This was this was in Europe, but in the mid 1800s, and he created a reform congregation.
Right.
And it was the Orthodox that poisoned.
Okay. Oh, okay. Now it makes sense.
Yeah. It wasn't his own congregation. It wasn't that he was personally disliked. It was that it was a war against reform.
Those Rosewater were radical.
I like
Radical genes.
You didn't know that
Say
story?
to my dad that used to make him nuts. I mean, he finally sent me a cartoon once. I said the same thing. But when my father would criticize me about something, I'd say, well,
It's either my
Some people are
heredity or my environment. In either case, it's your fault.
I like that.
When I was practicing, he sent me a little cartoon that said that, well, it's either my heredity or my environment.
Some people do make money.
That's great.
So that was always my comeback to him when he was critical. I could kind of just play him that way. You did it.
So far,
Right.
Yeah.
Do keep that
I'm
quiet
sure
about
they'll hear
it.
it though. Sooner or later. Well, you know what I said?